Hello, this is Group 12's final project for IMG420, in which we developed an acid rain module, which provides an API for a global cycling sort of weather state, as well as tracking for exposure to the acid rain, so that players can take damage and things like that. So we'll get started with an overview of the architecture of the module. So we have our Acid Rain Manager class here, and this manages the global state going on with the cycling and everything. So we have some methods, getters and setters. We have start cycle, which just starts the cycle of rain and clear, and then some utility functions. Uh, and then this process here, we just uh, are triggering every tick, and we're taking the delta time to keep track of the timer. And then, this just controls the state transitions. You see these functions here, and we're emitting signals whenever the state changes, as well as exposure ticks. So we're emitting the entity that's exposed as well as how long they were exposed. And then, so we also have this exposure tracker helper class, which in this function is entity expose, uses raycasting to detect if an entity is under an object. Uh, and this was a challenge because of the raycasting involved, but we were able to find basically the equivalent of what you would do in C sharp and C++. And overall, the GD extension, the build was challenging. Initially, we wanted to do a custom module, uh, but we ran into some integration problems, so we ended up just doing a GD extension instead. But luckily, we were able to use basically the same source code. All right, so now that we've talked about the implementation of the module a little bit, we'll go into a gameplay demo, which actually uses the module. Okay, so now we're loaded into the game, and we get a warning saying the acid rain is coming. So we get under this and we don't take damage. And also the event from the state changes triggers the particles. And so you see while we're exposed, our health is going down. And then when we get under it, it stops. And that's coming from those exposure tick events that I was talking about. So the main scene is consuming that and dealing damage to the player based on how much time they were exposed and a damage per second value. So yeah, we just have to try to avoid the rain here. And we get inside the shelter and there's some enemies to clear out. And so now we died because our health reached 0. And yeah, that is basically all the features that our module provides. So the state changes, which helps us trigger the particles and the warning text and things like that, as well as the exposure tracking, which allows us to deal damage to the player whenever they are not under a shelter. So yeah, that is our project. And yeah, thank you for watching.